Hello and welcome. My name is Angie Holden and I'm the blogger behind The Country Chic Cottage. So a couple weeks back I did a whole video on how to sublimate on dark colors and cotton, and I tested a bunch of different options, including things like EasySubli, glitter HTV, and even flocked HTV. And that videos went over really well, but the number one question I'm getting is, can you sublimate on any HTV? So I'm here today to answer that question. What are we gonna try? So the two things that I've been getting the most requests to try are just Caesar Easy HTV and regular Cricut Everyday Iron-On. Will these two work? We're gonna find out, but I'm gonna add a couple of different products to these tests because I'm pretty sure that these two work. This one is Caesar Mystic White, and it's like a holographic. And then this one is called Clear Dye Sub, and I know it works as well for cotton products. Now, some of these, like this one, are still only white or light colors, but I still want to test them so you have like all the options at your disposal when you go to sublimate on things like cotton, shirts, tote bags, what have you. So first, let's take a closer look at these products, and I will link to everything I'm using in the description below. If you're on computer, click show more. If you're on mobile, swipe up, or you can click the arrow to expand the description. I will also link to that first video below where I tested things like EasySubli. So if you found this wondering if EasySubli works, that's gonna be the video you wanna watch. For this one, let's test these four products and let's take a closer look. We're going to use all the products on two cotton shirts, one black and one white. The products we're going to use are the Clear Dye Sub HTV from Heat Transfer Warehouse. I'm going to try the Caesar Mystic White. It's like a holographic HTV. I'm going to try the Caesar Easy HTV and the Cricut Everyday Iron-On, the white. So some of these, like this first version, is made for dye sublimation, so I'm fairly certain it'll work. The rest of these might be an experiment, might work, might not, but by the end of this we should see which works and which does not. So now I'm going to go ahead and cut a heart out of each of these and print some sublimation hearts to sublimate on top, and then we'll talk about the procedure I'm going to use for each of these. Some of these I'm just going to be making it up as I go, but hopefully we'll get all of them to sort of at least work enough to run these shirts through the laundry a few times. Here are all my pieces printed and cut. So these are all printed on a sublimation printer with sublimation ink on sublimation paper. The first is the Dye Sub HTV, the clear. Both sides are shiny, so it's the rough side that goes against the mat, and then you cut it on the iron-on setting. The best way to tell is to like take one of the corners and start peeling it back and see what is your liner side. You do want to make sure to mirror your image in the case of all of these HTV products. Next up is the Mystic White from Caesar, and you do put it with the good side or the Mystic White side down on the mat. Again, mirror your design. And I just cut it with the iron-on setting using my Cricut machine. So I cut this one with the iron-on setting on my Cricut. It probably might have been better on maybe the holographic HTV setting because I had a little bit of trouble weeding. I'm weeding two of each of these, one for the black shirt and one for the white. Next up is the Caesar Easy HTV, and I'll just weed both of the hearts cut out of this material. And finally, I'm weeding the Cricut Everyday Iron-On, two hearts cut out of it as well. Now that we have everything weeded, let's talk about pressing each of these onto our shirts. So let's walk through a little bit of the pressing process so I don't have to film the entire thing. So I took my sublimation hearts and just cut them with a pair of scissors and trimmed away all that excess black box that the Cricut does. And so now these are ready for each of my vinyl pieces. For the shirts, I'm going to lint roll and pre-press every shirt to remove any moisture, and the lint roller will remove any dirt or debris. Then I'm going to press each of these vinyl pieces on first and then sublimate second because the vinyl is at a lower temperature. So let me walk through the temperatures and then I'm going to press all of those to both shirts. The clear is 320 degrees Fahrenheit for 5 seconds, peel cold. Rainbow white is 320 degrees Fahrenheit, 10 seconds, peel cold. The Caesar HTV is 305 for 10 seconds, peel hot. And the Cricut is I'm gonna do 315 for 15 seconds and peel it cold. The Cricut, I'm gonna try for the 15 seconds. It may not work. I may have to press it a little bit more, but we're gonna attempt to do that so that when I press the higher temperature and time for the sublimation, hopefully it won't melt is my goal here. Because this is completely an experiment. So this is just to press the HTV on. We'll have different times and temperatures to do the sublimation on the top. So I'm gonna set the sublimation to the side, just press the HTV at the times and temperatures I just noted onto both shirts, and we'll come back and take a look at what they look like just pressed on the shirt. All right, so let's take a look at each of these before sublimation. So this is the clear dye sub. This was definitely the hardest one to get to stick to the shirt. The directions were like 320 for 5 seconds. I ended up doing like 320 for 15 maybe on this one. I just could not get it to stick. And this one, so I said I would lint roll the shirt before each one, and I don't know if I forgot or if there was more lint than I thought, like stuck on the back of the HTV. But you can see the lint through the clear. So I'm not totally wild about the clear right now, but we'll see how it looks after sublimation. The rainbow white looks really good, pressed fine. This bottom, the left, is the Caesar, and the right is the Cricut. So just keep that in mind as we continue. So now I'm going to sublimate my hearts on top of each one. And what I'll do is I'll lint roll the heart, lint roll the heart that's already on the shirt, put the sublimation print in place, locating as best as I can, tape that down and press. The clear gets 380 for 30 seconds. And then the rainbow, the Caesar, and the Cricut, I'm going to try 356 for 25 seconds and see what happens. I'm kind of experimenting on these three, so I'm not sure. I'm going to head to my heat press and go ahead and do these. And I'm going to do a lint roll again over the top of this HTV before I add my sublimation print in each case. And hopefully the lint on this clear doesn't show through too bad, but we'll see. And then you can see that you can barely see the clear on the white, but the clear on the black looks kind of off-white almost. So just note that as well. Okay, so I am going to go ahead and sublimate each of the 4, and then we'll come back and take a look. All right, let's take a look at each of these in detail before I put them in the laundry. So this is sublimation on the clear dye sub HTV. This is on black, and as you can see, it is clear, so the black shows through the sublimation. So this product is definitely not for any shirts that have any color. It would more be for the white shirt. So what I did here is I sublimated on 100% polyester as a comparison. And the dye sub HTV actually might even be brighter. It turned out really, really good. So I'm interested to see how well it looks once it goes through a few laundry cycles. Now I will be waiting 24 hours before putting these 2 shirts in the laundry, and I'm going to leave the polyester shirt out and not wash it at all so that we'll have a fair comparison. And I will say, you know, I mentioned the lint under this clear. You can still see it now that I've sublimated on top. So I would recommend lint rolling really well before you press the HTV. Next up is the Caesar Magic White. So this is on black, this is on white, and then again, this is just the sublimation on 100% polyester. So you can see it looks really good now. We'll see what it looks like once I run it through the laundry. But it does show through, you know, that metallic color shows through your sublimation. So it will alter your print some, but you may like this look actually. So I'm interested to see how well this one holds up. So here we have the Caesar HTV. So the print was coming out super light. So I went back and pressed at like 380 for about 20 seconds on both of these. And then the paper started sticking. So these actually have a little thin coat of paper on it, it looks like. So we'll take a look at this after I run it through the laundry the first time, because this paper may come back off and it may be bright. But as you can see, it's super light compared with the polyester sublimation shirt. These two are super light in comparison. So I'm not entirely happy with the way this looks, but we'll see after I run it through the laundry one time if maybe some of this paper will come off. It may brighten up some and I may be happier with the look. We'll just see what happens. And the Cricut Everyday Iron-On is basically the same. So these two are with the sublimation on the top, and then this is the polyester shirt. Again, it looks super light, so I pressed it that second time. There might be some paper on here. This one doesn't actually feel like there is any, but we'll find out when we run it through the laundry a few times, see what happens. We'll come back with some updates and see how all of these hold up once I wash them. Okay, let's take a look after just one laundry cycle. So both the Caesar and the Cricut on both shirts, there is no longer any paper on any of those, but there's also very little ink. So the ink basically came out just in the first laundry cycle. So this is my shirt that has 100% polyester. You can see just how much fading we got. So I definitely think the Caesar and the Cricut regular white HTV is a fail. So then here is the clear. And of course on the black, you can't hardly see it, but it is there. Just a test to see if you could see through it, and you can. But this one definitely still looks amazing. Loving it on the white. And then the holographic looks pretty good in both cases. So I'm actually going to run this through the laundry a few more times just to see how these two perform. And I'll come back and give an update, and then we'll wrap up. After 4 laundry cycles, let's get sort of up close and personal. So this is the clear dye sub. And then this over here is actually the one that's just sublimation. And as you can see, the dye sub is still super vibrant. I'm really in love with this product. Feels great on the shirt. Hasn't hardly faded at all. So definitely a winner in my book. But here's that same product on a dark shirt. And as you can see, the dark definitely shows through. So it's definitely not for dark shirts. Stick with white or light shirts with this product. Next up, you have this Caesar Mystic White, which looks great after the 4 laundry cycles. As with any like holographic HTV, I find that it's kind of like cracking a little bit or like looks wrinkled. I find that with any holographic, like I just don't have good luck with them. And I did do all my cycles in cold water and no dry, so I hung them to dry. So not crazy about that, but if you like the look of holographic, this product might definitely be for you. And then here's that same product on a dark shirt, and then here's the regular sublimation. So light shirt on the right, sublimation in the middle, dark shirt on the left. And as you can see, it looks great on the dark shirt as well. So if you love the look of holographic HTV, definitely pick up some of the Mystic White and try it on your shirts for sublimation on cotton. All right, so the clear winners for me were definitely the clear sub and the Mystic White. Now, I'm not a huge fan of holographic HTV, like the feel on the shirt. So the Mystic White, like for me, is out, but you might like the feel, love the look, then Mystic White is for you. Now, the clear, of course, we have the downfall that it is clear and can only be used on light, but the feel is amazing. Like you can barely feel it on the shirt. I would say it's similar to, or maybe even better than the EasySubli, like the feel on the shirt. So I would definitely say that the clear dye sub, if I was doing a white cotton shirt, I would probably pick the clear dye sub, but I would make sure that I got all the lint off there like I showed you. And then we did do a dark shirt just so I could show you that that clear dye sub is not for dark colors, but the Mystic White, you could definitely use it on dark as well. So hopefully this video helped you kind of answer those questions of, can you sublimate on any HTV? And the answer is no. So it does still need to have some sort of polyester content, and not all HTV products do. Now, can you experiment with different HTVs, just like I have here? Definitely. So if you have an HTV product that you're curious about, run it through some tests, see if it'll work. You never know. So thank y'all for joining me. If this video helped you, give us a thumbs up. If you have any questions about anything we've covered, drop down in the comment section, ask away. If you haven't already, head on over to our YouTube channel, hit that subscribe button. We have videos like this every week, and trust me, you don't want to miss any of them. Thank y'all so much for joining me, and I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.